All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. All praise and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who brought out this truth many, many years ago and still to this day preaching this truth. I want to say shalom to all the true believers, the men and the women that learn, teaching, and seeking the Lord. I will all sincerity due diligence. I want to say to you all shalom. Just back with another lesson real quick. And we're just going to get straight into it right here. I got a video pulled up that is from GMS Watchmen. And this is what inspired me to do the lesson. And talking about, the digital ID passports that's, about to be put on the iPhones. And I'm just going to grab a couple more articles after that and bring out precepts. So it's just more of like a quick hit prophecy update. We're going to grab the video and get straight into it.
The next major step for full-scale digital ID just took place. Apple has announced that their iPhone will now have digital ID. What does this mean? The Apple iPhone digital ID is just going to be a digital representation of your US passport. Let me take you through it. So with Apple's iPhone, you would essentially load on your US passport into the Wallet app, and it'll also be accessible on your Apple Watch. This basically allows US passport holders to create digital identity credential based on your passport information. So this is a digital identity credential. It's not yet going to be connected to all that you are, all the info data, your history, your financial transactions yet. This is just a digital credential based on your passport info. But again, it's another major step towards the coming control grid. When users actually do this, iPhone users do this, step one is you're going to scan your passport photo page, and that's also going to read the embedded microchip in your passport. If you didn't know already, there's an embedded microchip in every US passport. The second step is it'll give you a facial scan. So your biometric authentication. It's going to scan your face from different angles. It's going to require you to do different head movements. This is the step of collecting biometric data, giving it to a private company like Apple. Users then can present their digital ID at in-person checkpoints, for example, over 250 US airports. Right now, it's only for domestic travel, not international. If you do international, you are required to have your physical passport in hand. So the digital ID on the Apple iPhone, they say it's encrypted and it's just stored on your device. Apple says that they cannot see when or where your ID is being used. Again, that's their claim, but how often do we trust what tech companies tell us about our data and how they protect it or what they can see or not see? This all plays in, again, to Agenda 2030, the digital legal identity. So they are trying to go for identities that are managed, verified, used digitally for access to our own rights and services. Okay, this goes back to what I said. If you step out of line with anything that the current regime in power or the global regime says is out of line, they can shut you down for access to bank accounts, to food, things like that. That's where we're going. This Apple Digital ID is a major step to eventually fully replace physical IDs with digital. It's going to normalize this digital ID for so many normies who are just going to sign up and do it, right? It's so much easier. Just put your identification onto your phone. So right now, Apple's digital ID remains privatized. It's device specific. It has limited scope for implementation. But again, this aligns in spirit with the broader Agenda 2030 digital ID control grid. These are incremental steps. They're not just going to put the cage around you right away. It's going to be little incremental steps. Get you used to little things piece by piece. And as you take those little baby steps, you get used to the cage being put around you. One more big...
See? So as you said, basically they're breadcrumbing us, man. You know what I'm saying? They putting all these different things out here, preparing us, for the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. You know what I'm saying? If anybody else is teaching that the RFID microchip is, if anybody else is teaching that the RFID microchip isn't the MOTB, then they're wrong, man. If they're preaching that the mark of the beast is a sin or anything like that, you following the wrong doctrine, man. But first of all, like you said, it's breadcrumbing us. Everything that Esau's putting out right now is like a test run. Same thing with the C stuff, the C-19 shit. That was a test run, man. A lot of people ran and got those jabs. Same thing when with the government shutdown. They're breadcrumbing us. They give us everything, then they took it all away from people, and people started going crazy just to see how people will react. And see, that's how Esau want people. He want people eating out the palm of his hands, man. Now Trump talking about giving out $2,000 stimulus checks. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you trusting in these people, trusting in this government is gonna be your demise and be your shame, man, because of the simple fact that it's all gonna fail you, and this whole system is gonna fail, right? But like I said, this is all this that they got going on right now is baby steps. They're breadcrumbing. First they start out, with the Apple iPhone with the passcodes. Then after the passcodes, a few years after that, you had the fingerprints. Then after fingerprints, after that, they had the face scanning. Now they got something with the passports which is like you said, the passports has digital IDs inside of them. right? So all this is gonna lead up to the MOTB, the mark of the beast. Everything that Esau is doing, the test runs, with all this stuff with the different strains and of diseases and different strains of these digital currencies and all this different stuff, man. It's all going to lead up to the Big Bang, which is the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, right? So let's grab that real quick out of Revelation chapter 13, starting at 15 through 17. And it says, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. That's all that AI technology. Verse 16, which is the point, and he causes all. So everybody's going to be placed with this in front of them, rich or poor. It says he causes all, both small and great, rich or poor, free and bond, to receive the mark in their forehead, right hand, or in their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark in the name of the beast and the number of his name. So this is what all this is leading up to, man. Over there in the UK, they're already starting with digital IDs. If you notice, everything always starts overseas somewhere. Also, like I said, that's a test run. And then they're going to bring it to America. And once it's brought here, that's when, it's a wrap, man. The Lord is on his way. But at the end of the day, man, all this is they just breadcrumbing us, man. They training us. Even back in the day, they started with chipping animals and chipping dogs. You get an animal, you buy an animal from like an animal shelter or one of them animal spots who sell dogs or cats. They end up chipping those dogs, got all the information on it, how much it weighs, the name, what kind of dog is it, what's the color of the dog, just in case if you lose your pet, you can call up to that place and they can, ping the microchip and see where the dog is at and go get your dog for you. So all this stuff has just been breadcrumbing us into that Big Bang, which is the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, man. And this is why, we have to be sober-minded and be watchful, man, right? So let's go to, let me see my notes, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11 real quick. Salakia. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. And it says, right here in NL10, it says, put on all the armor, put on all of God's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against the strategies of the devil, right? So this is why we got to put on that whole armor. We got to stay meditating in these scriptures. We got to stay close to the Lord, man. We got to constantly be on fire, constantly meditate on these scriptures and constantly pray and stay faithful to the Lord, man. So we can see these things. We can see what's going on. We can see through the bullshit. Without having this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, we'll be left in the dark, because all Esau do is put distractions out just so you won't pay attention to what's really going on, man. It's pretty much hiding in plain sight. Like I said, they put out a new video game every week, every month, or every year, a new iPhone every year. There's always does something. They the same iPhones, but it's always some type of thing that has to do with having your information on it. Like I said, it started from the passcode to the fingerprint, to the face scanning. Now they allowing you to put in your passport, which has that digital ID, which they say they don't pay attention to it, but even with Siri the police, if quiet as it's kept, what I'm saying? So putting on that whole faith, putting on that whole armor of the Lord, and having that faith through Yahweh Shai, man, that allows you to have that light and see through bullshit. A lot of these 2/3 people and some of these groups, because a lot of these groups teaching that the mark of the beast is sin, but how the fuck can you buy, sell, or trade with sin, man? It don't make no sense. They don't have that light, they stuck in darkness too. So they gonna be the ones leading the people astray, that whoever follow that group, and that's gonna lead them to take that RFID microchip, man, right? So let's continue real quick.
Big step towards full-scale digital ID, where all the individual's life history, info, data, their financial records, everything is all connected. It's not there yet, but again, this is another step towards that. These are the questions this raises. Will digital-only IDs become standard and people required to use them? We've seen this. This is what happens, right? We normalize something, it becomes a standard, and then all of a sudden it's forced upon us to, that's the only way to do it from now on. Who controls the ecosystem and the infrastructure of this? Right now, it's a private corporation, Apple. But government has talked about doing this. And of course, we have the ever-present evil public-private partnership, where the public entity, the government, gives permission to a private corporation to store all your data and manage all of this through government contracts, which is most likely what is going to happen. The government will partner with these big entities like Google, Apple, Palantir, you name it, these big AI companies, to manage all of our data, connect all the railways together of the infrastructure that's being laid, so that your one big massive digital ID, the culmination of one of the pieces of Agenda 2030, is all connected down with your past, your history, your financial records, your schooling records, your health records, everything. Go take a look at some of my other digital ID videos for information about this. The last question, of course, is what legal safeguards will there be to protect against misuse, data breaches, tracking, exclusion, or blocking from services? These kind of issues will come up before there's any kind of legal framework in place. And that's what's happening. This technology is moving so fast, they're pushing these incremental steps so fast that it won't give our legislative process time to catch up for actual legislation that might protect each individual. This is the way that government will actually circumvent the law in order to control us through private corporations and our access to public services and private services. I would say the Apple Digital ID it's a digital representation of a state or government issued identification. It's not yet connected fully to the full infrastructure and all the rail lines that they're putting together through these AI databases. So they can't quite shut you out of certain services if you did the digital ID on Apple, but it is coming. Again, major step towards that process as we take these little steps towards this dystopian.
God, seeing like you said, just those major steps, man. You know, like I said, they breadcrumbing us and leading it is everything that they're putting out right now. Like I said, is breadcrumbing us. That's going to lead up to the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, man. You know, like I said, they want to be one government, you know, one religion, you know, doing everything they say, you know, doing everything they want you to do. And then once you go off, man, they cut off all your information. Like you said, you won't have access to your bank accounts. You won't have access to food. You won't have access to healthcare. And that's why Esau he's putting all this stuff into your hand, the stimulus checks, the food assistance, the housing assistance, all so you can be, you know, eating out the palm of his hands and, you know, wanting to lean on him instead of trusting in the Lord, man. Isaiah chapter 30, starting at verse 1, Isaiah 31. You know, all that's, you know, trusting in Egypt, you know, that's going to lead you to your demise, man. Now we're going to go to 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8 through 9. Where am I? 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8 through 9. Right here, and it says, stay alert. Out of NLT, it says, verse 8 says, stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. Remember that your Christian brothers and sisters all over the world are going through the same kind of suffering, which is the elect, right? So that's what it says. Be sober, stay alert, man. That's why we got to constantly keep, you know, putting out these lessons, constantly reading, constantly studying, constantly meditating on these scriptures, constantly watching out for prophecy. You know, we got to be watchmen, man. Again, it says, stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour, man. And that's why we gotta stay prayed up. We gotta have that faith, man. We gotta be deep rooted in Yahushua, because this MOTB, the RFID microchip, is gonna be presented to everybody. Everybody is gonna have a choice at one point in time, man. Rich or poor, free and bond, whoever. Everybody on this earth you're gonna have to make a choice. And if you don't, you know, you got one foot in and one foot out, the Lord gonna make that choice for you, man. Right? That's why I'm saying we have to be stable. We have to have a stable mind, because of all these, like I said, these different doctrines. We got people teaching that the MOTB is something other than what it really is, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have that knowledge, wisdom, understanding, you know, to withstand the cunning, deceptive tactics used by Esau and the devil, right? Because he is that wicked man, right? So that was one of them. Now let's go to, you know, grab a couple articles real quick. Right here, man. It says, World Affairs says, unremovable Israeli spyware found in Samsung devices. You know, it says Business Wire. It says Samsung faces backlash over App Cloud, an Israeli development app pre-installed on budget Galaxy A and M series devices. Investigation revealed that the app is embedded in the operation system, preventing full removal even when disabled. App Cloud remains on the device, reappears after updates, and can covertly install additional software. So the Lord is showing you who the devil is, man. The Lord is showing you who is the wicked and who not to trust, man. Right? Let's grab that precept real quick. Right here, 2 Thessalonians. We're going to start out of NIV. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. We're going to start from verse 1. It says, concerning the coming of the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach and our being gathered to him, we ask you, brothers and sisters, not to become easily unsettled or alarmed by the teaching allegedly from us, whether by a prophecy or by word of mouth or by letter, asserting that the day of the Lord has already come. See, there's people out here that, you know, that question, the Lord already came, this and that. No, Yahushua is coming back, man. Right? Verse 3 says, don't let anyone deceive you in any way. So all these different doctrines, That's why I say you got to stay prayed up and be rooted in Yahweh Shai. It's all Esau is putting all these different doctrines, Buddhism, Hinduism, Islamic, Christianity, all these different religions, to keep you distracted, to keep you further away from your power, man, and to keep you confused and to deceive you. That's That's part of Esau's job, to take peace away from the earth, and that's all he's doing. Don't let anyone deceive you in any way, for that day will not come until the rebellion occurs and the man of lawlessness is revealed. Right? And that's the point. The man who doomed to destruction. That's Esau, even the so-called white man. This verse 4, it says he will oppose and exalt himself over everything that is called God or his worship, so that he sets himself up in God's temple, proclaiming himself to be God. And that's what he's doing with that MOTB, the RFID chip mark of the beast. He's, he want one government, one order, one world order, new world order, one government, one religion. You won't be able to think for yourself. You won't be able to pray to the guys you want to pray to. Everything will be under one setting, under one government, with the RFID microchip if you take it, man. And then if you oppose, you'll get killed. You know what I'm saying? Your benefits will get cut off. And that's how Esau going to present it, because before they bring this RFID microchip, he going to have to shut everything down, the nationwide blackouts, taking away the food and the water, taking away the Wi-Fi service, your cell phone service. All of your comforts will be taken away, man. And that's how he going to have you, man. He's giving you everything right now, filling you up with all this food full of sugar, getting you addicted to it, getting you addicted to your phones and strolling, getting addicted to watching TV, getting addicted to buying new shoes and clothes and all this stuff that comes out every time, That's what Instagram and all this stuff is set up for. Even on Twitter, if you pay attention, Twitter, they said it's 75% bots. So everything that you see on a lot of these platforms are AI technology and are just to make you want to fit in and go buy this and, feel like you belong, man. So that's how Esau's getting everybody. He's the ultimate deceiver. He's the ultimate liar, the ultimate deceiver. He's cunning. He's crafty. He's doing all these different things, man, just to deceive you. Right? So that's why, like I said, you got to be rooted and prayed up in Yahweh Shai. So like I said, let's go to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 1. And it says, we're going to start at verse 1. It says, the Adonai Yahweh, the Lord of armies, will take away from Jerusalem and Judah, everything they depend on. So everything you depend on, man, everything that makes you comfortable, your gas, your food, your water, everything you depend on, man, the Wi-Fi, the cell phone service, everything will be going. The Lord is going to take all of that away. Every bit of bread and every drop of water. That can go into the word, and it could go to literal food and water. All the heroes, soldiers, judges and prophets, fortune tellers, army officers, high officials, advisors, skilled craftsmen, and astrologers, I will make boys their leaders and toddlers their rulers, man. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is going to take away everything that's distracting you, that's deceiving you right now. Similar with these rappers, these actors, these actresses, these entertainers. They standing in front of you with their nails painted, standing in front of you wearing dresses, thinking that's the way you're supposed to be, but that's not the way, man. The Lord is going to take all these things that you people believe in, all these things that you people that make you comfortable. The Lord is going to take that away from you. Right? And that's how Esau's going to get y'all. He's going to take all this away from you just to present this MOTB. He's going to beat y'all to submission damn there, man. Take all your comforts away, all the things that, help you deal with your children. Some people give their children a tablet or their phone and say, hey, go do this while I chill. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to take all that away, man. And once he take all away, then that's when they're going to present that MOTB. Hey, if you want all this back, take this chip. And if you refuse to take the chip, then your ass is going to die more than likely. You're going to die more than likely. They're going to kill you. But then if you take the chip and then you refuse to do anything they tell you to do, then they're going to cut you off, from all the benefits that they offer that comes with the RFID microchip. It's a lock in my throat. All right. So let's continue, man. Right here. It says, in the time headlines, it says, Michigan adopts sex education standards, recommending that students be taught gender identity and sexual orientation, man. And let's go to John 10:10, man. That's all Esau want to do. Right? Steal, kill, and destroy. Right here, John 10:10, it says, the thief cometh only to steal, kill, and destroy. I come that they may have life and have it to the full, man. And but the point is the first verse, is the first part. The thief come only to steal, kill, and destroy, man. So this is what Esau's teaching you in these schools, man. About sex, transgender ways. The man could be a woman, the woman can be a man. Esau took, religion out to schools, praying out to schools, put up, I pledge allegiance to the flag. put up stuff like this, man, it's only to dumb our kids down, to keep us close away from our power, man, and to confuse and deceive these people. This is what Esau want, a land of confusion. That's why Babylon is it means confusion, man. Because you come here and everything is anti-Messiah. It look good on the outside, but once you get here, you realize, God damn, I've been lied to. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is, man. That's all Esau is setting up. Everything he's setting up right now is setting up to deceive you. It's setting up to destroy you. It's setting up to make you think something is all good, but deep down it's really not. When Trump come with these $2,000 stimulus checks, again, everybody's gonna be like, oh, Team Trump, Team Trump. That's what they want, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta stay prayed up in your Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay prayed up in these scriptures, man. Let's see, let me go to my notes real quick. What other precepts I got? I already got that one. All right, I'll get that in a minute. Yeah, man. So, this is what's going on. They teaching your kids, like I said, a man could be a woman could be a man, man can date man, women can date women. Pedophilia, all these different things. It's been times where I seen an article where it was what was it? It was a transgender guy dressed up, as a woman, which was a man, but he was reading a book to the kids, man. And we send our kids to school for 8 hours. The teachers in the school see our kids just as much as we do, and we ain't no telling what they teaching them. But now they're giving us an insight, right? And like I'm saying, so the Lord is showing you, like I said in the last one, in the last article, the Lord is showing you what's going on, and He's showing you who the wicked is, man. This whole place is anti-Messiah. Everything that the Lord stands for, America goes against it. You know what I'm saying? So this why this place got to go, man. It's one big drain hole. And the water's just going down slowly but slowly, man. We almost there, though. They said they want the digital IDs by 2030. It's about to be 2026. That's in 4 years, but it might even be sooner than that, man. What else? Right here. It says nearly half of the U.S. states are sliding into a recession as job losses continue and the national economy tries desperately to stay afloat. And it says recession, unemployment. Then right here as well, it says Wendy to shut down nearly 400 underperformed locations in the U.S. So I seen something else they're closing Walgreens stores. They're closing Wendy's. They're closing Macy and Saks, if I'm saying it right. They're closing all these different stores, man, because America is slowly dying, man, each day. It's getting worse and worse each day, man, right? So let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3, and it says, in that day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong man shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease shall be few, Slakia, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, man. So right now, man, everything that, all these different jobs and all these job closes, man, this place is going into a damn drain hole, man. It's nothing to do to save this place. You people that's trusting in America is returning to a recession back like in 2008, man. The job market is shitty. All these the storehouses and the food and the clothing stores, everything that you once loved are closing down. If you go around now and all these little small towns, the malls are closed down because everybody's going online and buying it. Like this place is slowly going down each day, man. That's why you got to stay prayed up, like I said, Yahweh Shai, and stay focused on this truth, man, and be embedded and be rooted. Because everything that you trusting in this place is going to lead to your demise, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're not trusting in the Lord, you don't have this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, you won't be able to see these things, man. We're not here to build up our 401k. We're not here to try to chase that bag, man. We stacking our riches for heaven, constantly doing the work, constantly praying, fasting, being humble servants, growing in Yahweh Shai every day, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, us having this light, us having this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, we can see through the bullshit, right? Right here, it says Kenya, Angola, and Ethiopia have all converted old dollar debts into yuan, and Indonesia, Slovenia, Kazakhstan are not issued bonds in yuan. So the dollar crashing soon. The dollar already crashing. They just stopped making the pennies. You know what I'm saying? So soon it's going to be the dollars. The dollars, they're going to stop printing paper money, man. So everything is about to be digital, man. Like I said, everything they've been putting out has been breadcrumbing. From the C19 shit. That was a test run. you know what I'm saying, to the government shutdown again. Like I said, that was a test run to see how people react. You know what I'm saying? Even when that C stuff came, everybody named Mama was, you know, when they took that jab, man. You know, I was a FedEx driver at the time, and it was lines all the way from the top of the building all the way to outside the parking lots and onto the street, you know, just to get that shit, man. So, hey, that's why I'm saying, you got to stay prayed up to Yahweh Shai, man. Because as you can see what's going on, there's nothing but bullshit going on here, right? So that was pretty much it. I just wanted to bring that out, do a quick hit prophecy update. I truly hope this lesson was edifying. Again, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. All praise and double honors again to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who brought out this truth many, many years ago and still to this day preaching this truth. Again, I hope this lesson was truly edifying. Shalom.